Hi, it's Alisa from The Ripple Effect. Happy Thursday. Something I've been working on a lot lately, I wanted to share with you in the hopes that this would be something helpful, is being, I would say, more of a creative thinker and a right brain person with also analytical tendencies. But how do you work in an environment where you're around people who are very data driven, people who are very uber analytical, very fact based? They probably would call themselves realists. Again, data driven, analytical, data driven, you get the picture. And if you're similar to me, someone who's very connected spiritually and works with concepts regarding energy and really pursues studying spiritual truths and just knows that there's a whole lot more going on in the world and the universe than what most would call reality. We create our own reality, so you can go really deep with that. So what I've been learning, I would say all my life, but especially as I have gotten older and more into a working environment, working with some really smart, intelligent, wonderful people, but you can tell when there's a bit of a contrast and there's a lot of differences in the way you communicate and think, etc. And so what I'm learning is how to fit in, or maybe even not fit in, but how to feel rather comfortable and safe in my skin, if you will, around people who I feel very different from. How do you be you when you're around people who don't really seem very similar? And I think it's great, there's a lot of talk these days on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how everybody has a seat at the table and who wants everybody to be the same. And so there's that conversation about including everyone, because everyone has a great perspective, and how there's studies that show that people with very different backgrounds and beliefs can actually create great solutions when they work together, because we're all coming from a different perspective. However, and that's amazing, and I think that's fantastic. But I think in the day-to-day working world, that wonderful big picture isn't always perceived, or let's just say I don't think it's necessarily top of mind. It's kind of like, let's just get this work done, and there just doesn't seem to be a lot of room for that lovely bigger picture in my experience. So what do you do? How do you feel safe? How do you be you? And that's something that I'm really working on. And what I would say is, I wouldn't say that it's a fight by any means, because we don't want to push up against anything, because that creates resistance. But what about knowing in our minds and in our hearts that no matter what the outer world is saying or how they're responding to us, we know in our hearts, and in I would say our higher minds, the truth. And Abraham Hicks is always talking about how if we are hoping to get validation and approval from others, we're really screwed. And they're funny about it, but I really believe there's a lot of truth to that. So I would say, in the simplest of terms, when we feel like the odd duck, the oddball, definitely rubbing against the grain, the status quo, I think that's exactly what we're supposed to do. And I think that's stepping out and being ourselves and having that courage and bravery to stand strong and offer a perspective that's not exactly like everyone. Who wants to be one of the herd? I don't. but yet sometimes I find, more often than not, I try to play safe to stay under the radar. And I keep coming back to, maybe that's why I get so uncomfortable, because I'm not supposed to stay under the radar. And I'm telling you this because I'm going to bet that you are not supposed to stay under the radar as well. So I say, let's be who we are, always kind and respectful and inclusive as much as we possibly can, and firmly and gently and lovingly and confidently, I'm saying this to myself too, confidently have a voice, have a seat at the table, pull out the chair for ourselves if the chair isn't being pulled out for us. You know what I mean? And stand strong and confident, and knowing that we have an important voice, an important message to share. And so with that, I think that's what I'm trying to say. So for all of you who are conforming but don't like conforming, I think it's time that we stop doing that. So I wish all of you a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much always for listening and watching. We so appreciate you. God bless, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.